Aries, welcome back for your star sign for your monthly edition. Yes, we do cover this in sections. This is both psychic, we cover your astrology with the moon energy, as well as anything really linking to love for singles and couples, career and business, wealth and wellness. Anything else I might think is really going to be quite critical for your zodiac sign. Now, we're going to quickly cover some of the must know transits at a very basic level so that you have your PDF moving through the month of June. Now, we do have 5 trends that are happening, the 5 big ones. One is Saturn in Pisces will move retrograde from the 17th of June. Pluto will re-enter Capricorn on the 11th of June. Now, I'd really highly advise 3 days after, be ready for some shake-ups in this department, which I will try to remember to really link this into your star sign for the month. Neptune in Pisces goes retrograde as of the 30th of June, and Venus enters Leo as of the 5th. Now, keep an eye on this one zone because from the 5th and beyond, next month, we will be having this moving retrograde. Beautiful Venus retrograde. Those of you that have followed me for a long time, we do talk about a re-evaluation of these situations where it comes to love blast from the past or a current given connection. Now, do remember that when we do have sudden moving retrograde, we can really need to go inside and reflect upon what our foundation is, where we're able to take accountability. And some of those areas during its retrograde can be in a reworking stage. As Neptune moves retrograde, you can have some really major, bold revelations. Now, currently, we have Neptune and Saturn both in the house of Pisces. So I think these two are really going to go hand in hand with each other, both where we can take accountability. And I did say ultimately this can be a good duo because they can help us really restructure things to get us from point A to point B. We can feel a little bit disheartened, but it's a little bit like weighing a scale. We potentially can see, okay, do we have the energy and effort? Do we have the motivation in that particular area of life? And, what would key bits be? So we will come back to this and we will discuss that in an overview of how it can look to you. Now, Pluto also, when it does shift back into Capricorn, this is a wrapping up of the cycle. And so we do have it move into Aquarius for the first time at 0 degrees. And for us, especially in America, it can be very critical in energy. It's a temporary kind of wrap up energy, but again, there can be some conundrums that do kind of raise in this one department. So be aware of that. Try to be gentle with yourself and keep an eye out for that. Now, don't forget, Venus is going to move retrograde. So don't forget to keep an eye on those areas. Now, I'm going to briefly cover where these areas are for you, and then we're going to get into the moonology and your romance house. Now, Saturn for you with Pisces, this is going to link to your 12th house, so there can be some uncertainty. You can have really creative ideas, and it could be a good time to really journal, meditate, check your pressure points, really psychological in nature. What are the things that you're doing to actually deal with your pressures in life? How do you directly deal with those pressures? Do you have confidence in your future moving forward? Is there a different way you directly could relate to it? You're going to find during this retrograde, you could have some really huge breakthroughs and revelations. You also could have dreams coming through and a brand new way to reevaluate how to have a brand new beginning with confidence. Now, this is kind of key that it's coming up at this point in time because as we move into the following month, we are going to have the North Node move into your zodiac sign. So pay attention to this. If it is a little bit difficult, just know the best is yet to come and your revelation of power will come shortly. The other thing I can say is Venus entering into Leo. Don't be surprised if you're becoming more creative, and it's a really good time to journal down. You could have subjects to do with romance and children coming up. Also, the openness of wanting to have fun. I tend to find with the fifth house we have it's very creative in nature. So yes, fertility can be high. You can be very creative in nature. It can be romance. It can be social situations, but it's going to be quite bold. You also could be looking at your appearance and wanting to change things up. Food, diet, and nutrition also could come into play, especially because we did have Jupiter last month moving into Taurus, which links to your second house. So paying attention to the eating, looking after your wellness and your vibration, but definitely there could be some sparks of romance flying. Now, where it does come to these transits, we're going to have a look at the moon energy and what these moon trends are going to come up with. And then we're going to go straight into your romance zone. And I'm psychically going to look at how to best react to these circumstances and what those things can be. Now, with our first moon phase, it's going to be occurring on the 4th of June, 2023. It's going to be a full moon in Sagittarius, very Jupiter in nature. Subjects, as mentioned on the screen, can be anything to growth, travel. Some of you really may want a holiday. Some of you are thinking about the bigger picture in life, how to expand situations. But there's a wrapping up. There's a looking at things in a very different view. And I'd definitely say for you, because it does link to your ninth house, some of your old values and belief systems, you could be looking back to your career and saying, okay, do I need to upskill? Is there something, is this skill being put to good use? Is it relevant to me? Am I actually learning? Sagittarius and in the ninth house, it can be guru energy. It can be your religious beliefs, it can be education and upskilling, it can be travel, foreign trade. All of is going to play out in your life in some shape or form, but there's a wrap up. So for some of you, it could be that you complete a course. Some of you could be deciding, do you need to upskill? Others of you can be looking at different ways to address this. This also can be educating others, but I definitely see in a larger bold area, you could be tying up some loose ends. This also could be in relationship to a trade deal. It could be in relation to a sibling. There could be a subject that wraps up and it's tied up in a neat bow. Generally, moons can be quite emotional, so you could feel a little bit disillusioned. You also could be attracted to a person from a foreign culture and really be questioning where you're living, really be questioning, okay, who is my tribe? Who are the people around me? Do I need to find my new network spiritually? So easy, 3 days before, 3 days after. Give yourself a little bit of grace. It also can be more playful energetically. Great time to meditate, and to recharge and to really detox, some of those things. Try to not project because by the 5th, we are having, Venus moving into Leo, so we can be a little bit in the egoic mind in the initial stages as we adjust into it. Now, as we move to the 18th, we will have the new moon in Gemini, and it's very Mercury in nature. This for you at an individual level can have you quite busy. This can be signing of new contracts, getting things organized, getting a new routine. Um, and definitely you could be pulled in various directions. You may find that by your organization skills and your intellect, you're going to be able to negotiate deals a lot better. But you also could find during this time you could be quite in your head. It is Mercury in nature. And so try and concentrate as much as possible. Also, take a little bit of time where you can recharge, be it it's eating, healthy food groups, things to really get you recharged, having your spiritual baths with your aromatic oils, especially because we will have Venus in Leo. Now, let's get into your star sign and what I see psychically and astrologically coming through for each sector of your life. Now, your romance house, I do particularly feel the first half of the month, um, you can be really reworking your beliefs in association to love. Now, we can be getting the lingering effects of romance. People can be coming towards you. They can be deeply attracted to you at this point in the month. You also may find that you're trying to balance the scales. This could be a way in which you are saying to yourself, do I have time for love? Am I where I need to be? Do I believe in new beginnings? It almost reminds me of the Cher song, Do You Believe in Life After Love? And I really do feel there's a possibility here, especially if you've had bad luck in love of late. As we do have the nodes move next month, brand new chapters going to be opening for you, and there will be a lot of lessons and blessings associated to it. And you will look at the love domain in a very different light to what you may currently look at it right now. Mid month and from the 5th and beyond, There is a social attribute and there is opportunities for you to actually meet people through social endeavors. You can be more romantic, you can be more heart-centered. If you do find that you're having difficulty with opening up and trusting, just remember that the retrograde between Saturn and Neptune can have you second-guessing yourself. This also can be a return to individuals of the past and really looking at your coping mechanisms and seeing whether it's you or another that is holding you back. I do feel this also can have some brand new doors that are opening, and come mid-month, there is an opportunity for communication to start flowing. By this stage, we will start getting the shadow phase of Venus coming through, so be cautious of cross wires. It's not a bad time to connect with people of the past, but be really open-minded. It's serving a purpose. It's going to teach us something about ourselves, and there is every possibility of reconciliations or meeting a chance love. I would recommend as we do move to the later end of the month, as we move into the shadow phase, to be cautious because I would be more open-minded and flexible. Because the one thing is, as we do enter into the following month and Venus goes retrograde, what you can find is that those individuals, if they are coming into your life and they're a new person, they can also be reworking old situations. So the person could all of a sudden start acting very flighty. And I always call Venus retrograde the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a sum up of things, it's a sum up of our values. Your pastimes also are going to change. The way you're seeing yourself could be a bit more bold, especially as we do move towards July. Now, those of you that are coupled, this can be a time where there's huge plans and, there could be misunderstandings. You also could get to a space that you are up in your head quite a bit. Really taking time out to articulate what those dreams are. The person not necessarily will need to understand where you're at, but if you're quite transparent about how you see things, I think allowing that person to make the decision will be key. And I do think you'll have an opportunity to do such. This can be a very romantic month for those of you both single and couple. And I do also feel reworking these areas. Again, your schedule can become quite busy as we do proceed towards the middle of the month. So try to keep it quite open. Keep an open mind when it does come to conversations, organising your schedule. And also, what you can find is you're going to be multitasking. Um, some of you could have a new chapter really where it comes to moving home. There are opportunities where you're dealing with home-related dynamics, be it it's mother and father, be it it's actually pregnancies. Definitely for singles and couples, be careful of that if it's something you're not ready for. Now, your career sector does have some big changes coming. There could be a little bit of rumbles as we reach the 11th because we do have Pluto moving back into your 10th house. Now, you really between is the buck worth the grind and what could I do to get what I'm wanting? And I do feel you're leading in the right direction. You may actually be moving towards a leadership position. I also feel the way in which you're going to be handling your wealth, which we'll get into in a moment, is going to be changing. There is an opportunity, like I said, that you can be going up the ladder. After Mercury retrograde last month, a lot of us were really meditating upon that financial attribute of things and, what the value was, what our confidence was on that department. Some of you also could have had some repairs or some new items that you bought into your life. But again, that monetary system can be coming from different areas of your life. Don't outrule the transformations that are able for you, because I really do feel question marks will be up in the air for your zodiac sign this month. Now, that does not have to be a bad thing. If anything, it's showing you that the world is your oyster and it's about seeking out those opportunities and knowing what you're worth. And I do feel you'll have the gift of the gab. Mid month, you could be reviewing those contracts, especially as we reach the new moon. Business owners and education and upskilling is a possibility. Those of you running a business, you can find that the first part of the month, you're really trying to get that equilibrium. Any advertising and things to that degree, you could be taking on a new approach. Websites, what else could we say? Websites, trade, contracts, training of staff, logistics, all of those sort of situations will be addressed in the first 2 weeks, I would say, but you can find after that there can be an expansion depending on the industry you're actually working in. Feel free to book a reading and I can break it down for you how it best plays out either within your birth chart or directly linked to your zodiac sign. But the Venusian attribute of things can be expanding, and I definitely see that you're looking at ways to increase your wealth and your profit margin. Okay, so the wealth zone. I do see various areas of potentials for wealth. I do see there is a possibility of spending more on social experiences. This could be wining, dining, going out. This also could be on loved ones with birthday parties. For some of you, it could be related, but I definitely see that there is an up and up coming, but you may need to be a little bit cautious. I would say from about the 8th through to the 15th. And, as we ease into that, Pluto will be sitting in the house of Capricorn again. So some tension points can come, and it could be something that you're looking at to do with career transition, wrapping up paperwork in association to it, and really looking at your big purpose and saying, okay, like I said, it's the buck worth the grind. Now, I do feel for some of you, we did have Venus in the initial stages in the house of Cancer, and Mars was in Cancer as well. I think there could be potentially some things relating to home where wealth can be generated from that. Now, that could be for renting, buying, investing. It also could be linked to um, uh, what else could we say? Moving home. Yeah, there's something to do with home going on in the mix, but I definitely feel there's a potential for some of you to be getting large loans for a large project. This could be for building or doing anything of the sort. The other area I would say is you do have lady luck. Your wealth also is going to increase, and this can be those of you that actually own assets. And I also see a potential of really networking back with your professional resources. Money that's owed to you also could come back to you at this time. Now, with your wellness, do be wary of the transition of both Saturn and Neptune. You can find that you become more sensitive in your aura and you can become a little bit more dehydrated. I'd also say you can use crystals to protect yourself. Bad dreams, nightmares, psychic attacks, you name it. It is a possibility. Also, really paying attention to your psychology, your emotions, and how you're handling them. Really knowing your limit. It's a little bit like driving a car without oil at some point. That's going to be problematic. You don't want to burn your engine out. So I would say make sure to keep hydrated. You can use um, amethyst, you can use tourmaline to protect you. I would do a crystal grid in the home. This is a good month to really protect your home and get the windows clean, and that's really going to help protect the chi energy. Making sure to wash all with mirrors also. Mirrors at the base of the bed are a no. Another thing I can say is some of you also may need to have some recharge where it does come to nutritional values. I'd be very careful with pacifiers this month. Journaling can be a really wonderful thing, and pregnancies also are possible. Can we take things personal? Yes, we can. So, being aware of your daily routine, how you can restructure those things so that you can get the best out of your body and out of your life moving forward. Now, the key points of change and the pressure points I do feel for your zodiac sign can particularly be Neptune and Saturn moving retrograde. So, again, really fair base frequencies to do with brand new beginnings. Feeling that maybe you're unsure of that, you're not quite knowing where you're going. It is completely normal with the transition. Give it about 1 to 2 weeks. As we ease into that, you're going to find some of that pressure coming off. You also may find that some of those situations show you where you're directly not motivated any longer, and those things need to be tweaked. I would also say be super cautious around aggression to do with friends and potential management positions as well. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Look at it in a very systematic routine. Uh, Definitely when it comes to exercise and nutrition, doing things that are more manageable in the long run, looking at how you can build it into your life rather than things taking over look at it like a pyramid. I hope you join us next month. I'd love to see you again. If you do want to follow us, we have these monthly as well as we cover the Twin Flame Path online at Yildiz Readings 5D. Take care, beautifuls, and I'll see you soon.